Hey, how's it going everyone? So today is going to be a more casual video telling you how to fix screen tearing and stuttering issues when recording gameplay footage in OBS. This video is going to be split up into two parts. The first part is going to be me telling you the literal settings you want to change in OBS to avoid these issues, as you probably already know what the problem is in the first place. And then the second part is going to be me going more in depth, explaining what screen tearing actually is and what causes these issues in the first place. But real quick, I just want to bring up how much misinformation there is online when it comes to screen tearing. For instance, there's a lot of the AI on Google, for instance, will tell you certain things like the refresh rate or enabling VSync and G-Sync. And I'll be honest, when looking into this myself, a lot of this just isn't true for me personally. Of course, AI isn't the most reliable thing, but I just think it's not really, the actual thing you get when looking this up isn't helpful at all. It doesn't really make any sense. And of course, there's a lot of videos online detailing these problems, which I've tried myself, but I've also found doesn't really fix the issue I'm having. A lot of these videos will tell you to just change the frame rate output, and that didn't do anything for me. And after spending months and a long time trying to come up with a solution, I think I finally have one which might hopefully help the people watching this video. So we're going to open up OBS, and we're going to go into settings real quick. Now what you want to do is you want to navigate into output, and by default this will be set to simple, the output mode. What you want to do is enable advanced. So of course this video is going to be about recording, not streaming, so we're going to go into that tab and we're going to scroll down real quick to the video encoder. The video encoder isn't really a huge deal here, but YouTube recommends the FMMEPEG or the H.264, which you should have by default as an option. You might not have this particular option, so just go with the 264 if you don't have it. But yeah, YouTube recommends this one, so that's why I have it enabled. But anyway, the more important settings is going down a little bit. So what you'll see here is the rate control. So by default, this will be set to CBR, and that's the bit rate. So the bit rate's the quality per second, and it's great for streaming, but for game recording, it can look a bit naff. It doesn't really look that great. But there's this other option called CQP. Now, if you enable this, basically, real quick, the lower the QP, the higher the quality per second is. If you have it as low as 20, it'll be looking amazing. And if you have it higher, you'll still see certain imperfections on screen, but they won't be that much of a deal. Plus, you're going to be using this recording for YouTube anyway, which already kind of compresses your videos. So I recommend having it anywhere around the 30 mark. But of course, you're probably best to check yourself by making small recordings and just seeing how it looks by the end of it. Because of course, the lower the QP is, the better the footage looks, but the file size will be a lot bigger. So obviously you don't want a 10-minute, 20 gigabyte video, because that's not really going to be very useful. Anyway, so I find around the 30 marks is pretty good. And now another option I've seen as well online that helps is the keyframe interval. I recommend setting this to 2 seconds. And that's basically it. You want to press apply afterwards, and we're going to be talking in depth more about what these settings actually do and how they actually help your recordings. But yeah, hopefully this bit helps your recordings, and if you want to just click off the video and do your own thing, I understand. But if you're more interested about the internals on why this actually happens, then stay tuned. So now let's break down what's actually causing these issues in OBS and why they're happening in the first place. So the simple video options in OBS can be a little misleading. Basically, these are presets where instead of individually selecting which options go into your video recording software like the encoder or the bitrate, OBS basically handles everything. Now this alone is what I found causes screen tearings for me personally. Also, these presets use up a ton of CPU even at lower settings, so that's why I recommend using the advanced settings so you can individually tweak certain things to make it look smoother and better. Also, when it comes to changing the rate control, which we've established, the CBR is basically the bitrate, which is great for streaming, but the CQP option is way better for actually recording footage. It's basically like the preset option, it targets different bit rates to save on the file size, which is very important when making a video since you can't have large file sizes since they eat up so much data and are a pain to move around and edit. Anyway, if you want to know which CQP rate is best for you, simply boot up whatever game you're playing and record about a minute of footage. And each time you review this footage, simply go up and down depending on how much file size you want to save and how much better you want to make it look. The ultimate balance here is getting the best possible video quality whilst also having the smallest possible file size to save up on data. At least that's the priority for me personally. This next part might go without saying, but I've also noticed that the more faster paced and graphically vivid games are, the more effect it has on the encoder's CPU usage. I really noticed this when the Switch 2 came out. Whenever I record footage for Mario Kart World or Donkey Kong Bonanza, it was basically a wreck. It would use up all of my CPU on these preset settings and take up a ton of file size. Bruh. Not to mention the footage itself would look terrible. Which was pretty much the inception for me wanting to make this tutorial video in the first place, as there was so little information online on how to fix this problem. At the end of the day, this video comes from one small content creator to another. And that's basically it. Hopefully this video has helped, since I found these settings have really made my videos look better and have completely destroyed screen tearing and screen stuttering, which was a massive issue for me over these past few months. I might not be the most well versed when it comes to this topic, but I have looked into it quite a lot, so once again I hope this really helps. And you probably noticed in this video, but I do in fact use a Steam Deck to record all my footage for this channel. It's just one of the many examples out there of how you don't really need an expensive rig or a really nice setup to just make videos on the internet. And if this video can help at least one person, I'd say it was worth making. So yeah, take care and thanks for watching.